I guess what I would change is that in hindsight, seeing that it hadn't moved along as far as we wanted it to, I would have nudged it more. I think the fact that it was kind of its freestanding structure endorsed by our National Alumni Board, not a part of it, I think that was an issue. I think that the leadership all came from basically the same year in the 1980s, and so there wasn't broad representation, but they were the ones who wanted to start it, and so we were very grateful to have their involvement, but there wasn't enough breadth of opinion, and so those are probably the main things I would address. Is that we are doing a review, and now that we've had some campus issues, people are saying we need this structure, and so now we want to build up the structure and make it stronger. I mean, the biggest issue we have, since we don't have nationals except with one exception, and so we don't have that kind of oversight group, and we need to create this as more of an oversight group, because whenever we seem to get into problems with our students, it's when they're doing things that are unsupervised, and that's not specific just to local organizations. I think that's specific to all, but we're still missing that kind of oversight piece, and so we're trying to really develop stronger connections between the alumni from all the clubs together to advise us on general issues, and then within each club to help advise those organizations specifically, and to provide some more oversight and some wisdom to them. Really, I mean, we require them to have been out of school for at least 10 years, and so hopefully the people that are dealing with our students are people who have had some life experiences that they can share. Well, I mean, one of the things that we did right from the start is we compromised a lot just to make it happen, because every time we felt like there was something that we didn't want, for example, when they had their alumni advisory council meetings, they didn't want to have our Greek coordinator present, which to us was ridiculous. But if that was a deal breaker for them, then we compromised and just said, that's fine, we won't do that. With the idea that when the moment was right, we would revisit that conversation. So, I think sometimes you have to give a little to get a little, and that was definitely the case for us in the formation of this group. Probably the biggest thing is that the group never got any traction with the general alumni population, and so despite trying to do that, when we dealt with some issues related to hazing and some actions against some organizations, people hadn't even heard of this group, and so it wasn't for lack of publicizing it, and I thought the leaders of the group did a good job of trying to get the word out about it, but I just think people weren't that interested until something bad happened, and we had created a listserv so that we could have ongoing conversations between the administration and the students and the alumni, and we didn't have a lot of people on that. We didn't have a lot of activity on that, and so that was probably the biggest thing, is that if we're going to make this happen, we need to get the word out so everybody knows that it's there. And if you can tell it's not like that, you need to develop it quickly.